What's the craziest dad lore you've ever heard? I've always planned on going on a trip abroad with my dad since I was little. It was the kind of idea we'd talk about during long drives or backyard barbecues, usually right after he launched into some story that seemed too ridiculous to be real. He had a way of telling tales that made you laugh first and question later, like the time he said he won a boat in a poker game. I thought it was just one of his classic exaggerations, until my cousin pulled out an old photo of him, sunburnt and grinning, standing on the deck of a rusty fishing boat with a beer in one hand and a broken radio in the other. That was my dad. He lived in the gray area between myth and memory. So when I finally had enough saved up and a few weeks off work, I told him it was time. Italy, Spain, and Switzerland. Just us, eating too much, walking too far, and making up for the years we kept putting it off. He was excited right away. Started talking about food, wine, and all the chaos he planned to bring to ancient cities. But when I mentioned Switzerland, something changed. He didn't say anything at first, just stared at the floor like he was listening for something. Then he shook his head slightly and said, almost under his breath, "That place brings up some bad memories." He tried to laugh after saying it, but the sound didn't feel real. I let it go for a while. Maybe it was just a weird thing with altitude or hospitals or who knows what. But when I started booking tickets and got to the Switzerland leg, he stopped me. His voice was firmer this time. "Actually, I can't go there." That was it. No reason, no story, just a wall. I didn't want to push, but it stayed in the back of my mind all night. Eventually, I texted my mom. They've been divorced since I was a teenager, but they still send birthday messages and sometimes talk on holidays. I figured if anyone knew, it would be her. Her reply was fast, just one sentence. "Don't ask him about Switzerland. It's a long story." That made it worse. A few days later, we were sitting outside. He was nursing a drink and the sun was starting to drop. I asked again, this time quieter, not demanding, just curious. "Dad, what happened in Switzerland?" He didn't answer right away. He just looked out over the fence like he was remembering something far away. Then he took a long drink, set the glass down, and said, "All right, but you can't tell your mother I told you." Back in the late 80s, he had been backpacking around Europe with a friend who was into fast schemes and faster exits. They didn't have much money, so they started posing as antique dealers. They'd dress up, walk through tourist spots, and sell fake vintage watches to anyone who looked like they had a credit card and no sense of time. It worked until it didn't. One of their customers turned out to be connected to someone high up in the Swiss government, a nephew or a cousin. He wasn't sure, but it didn't take long for the police to get involved. They got caught, pulled into a back room, and questioned for hours. My dad gave them a fake name and a fake backstory. Somehow they let him go. But instead of waiting around, he packed his stuff, left his buddy behind, and got on the first train out of the country. He never looked back. He still had the paperwork. He went into the closet and pulled out a dusty shoebox filled with old photos, poker chips, and a yellowed Swiss police document with a fake name printed across the top. There were pictures of him in wigs, sunglasses, and one photo where he looked like a knockoff magician. We dropped Switzerland from the itinerary and added Amsterdam instead. He didn't protest. On the plane, as we were settling into our seats, he leaned over and said, "There's a story about Amsterdam too. I'll tell you when we land." That's when it hit me. I would probably never know the full truth about who my dad used to be. And honestly, I didn't need to. Some parts of him were better left unexplained.